sure that this country moves forward and that every person is seen and respected and protected under the law, and that people have to follow the law, and that we have creating opportunity when we do this work together. So I appreciate the incredible work that the NAACP does. I'm proud to be affiliated with this organization. That we deliver the great outcome in November, and I thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live at the NAACP convention, the National Newspaper Publishers Association, and Make It Plain, here with Dr. Benjamin Chavis Jr., our president and CEO, and our chair, Bobby Henry, who we'll hear from momentarily. We are going to be joined now, I believe, hopefully, by the governor of Michigan, Richard Whitmer, just spoke here.
We're in the home stretch.
And
we can see
obviously she's one of the co-chairs of the Biden-Harris
it's not a dark
campaign.
For us because
And I just want to peek around this corner. Dr. Chavis, Chairman Henry, say hello to your audience. You're watching all of them.
It's good to be here.
It is morning in our hope. It is morning in our resolve. It is morning in our commitment.
I too am honored to be here along with our president and to be a part of this national NAACP convention.
They got here before me. I just got yesterday, so they've been here all week. Tell you about what y'all been doing. Y'all been working and socializing.
Working and networking. The 100-year relationship between the NAACP and the Black press is a relationship of solidarity, it's a relationship of activism, it's a relationship of being the voice of Black America, defending the rights of our people. And if we ever needed NAACP, we need it in 2024. If we ever needed the Black press, we need it in 2024. We got work to do. That's what we've been doing since we've been here in Las Vegas at the NAACP 115th Annual National Convention.
Yeah, I too am honored. What I've found out, what I've noticed is the fact that we all need each other. The NAACP say they're all in, and we say as a team, 2 in, together each accomplishes much more. And we're doing that, trying to establish these memorandums of understanding, working memorandums of understanding with all of these great organizations. And that's what we have been doing. And it's been an honorable and a pleasurable task to meet and sense and know that we all are here for the same reason. And that's to move us forward.
Very good. So listen, we need the largest Black voter turnout in American history this year. We cannot afford to let evil back into the White House. We cannot afford to miss the opportunity to take over the House of Representatives. We cannot afford to allow far-right people to take over the United States Senate. So we've got a lot at stake, even at the state level, congressional district level. We got to fight. We're all in.
Dr. Chavis, tell your audience
As we can see on the NAACP and
Yes,
Biden-Harris.
I'm president. Well, at our national convention in Baltimore, we're very pleased to welcome representatives of the Biden-Harris campaign. And they made a historic announcement, a $1.5 million ad buy with the Black press, just as the initial ad buy this year in 2024. So we appreciate the Biden-Harris campaign, not only putting resources back in our community through the Black press, but we're going to work as hand in hand to make sure that every opportunity, that every chance to push forward the interests of Black America that we do together.
And there was some reinforcement made in conversation here that again, that's not the only amount of money that they're going to spend. They're spending some more. And so we are related to that, and we will do our best in trying to turn this vote out. We need to. This is pivotal. We got to. And as Dr. Chavis said, we cannot let evil into the White House. We got to keep it out. And the only way we can do that is through our vote, and that's our force. So let's do it.
We're going to be just
I'll talk something.
No, we're going to stay here. Governor Whitmer. Good morning. Step right on up here.
How are you? Benjamin Chavis.
Yeah, nice.
Strong
Come
support.
up a little bit closer, if you don't mind, Governor.
Yes.
Get you on camera
Oh, okay.
right here. Folks, we're here with Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who just spoke to the NAACP plenary. First of all, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Where are we now at this point? There still seems to be a lot of noise. There's a group of people in the House who still trying to make the case for the president drop out. You represent an important state. Where do things stand now as far as you're concerned?
Oh, listen, the president's been very clear. He's running for re-election, and it's time to stop wringing our hands and roll up our sleeves. We got work to do.
And is Michigan still winning?
Oh, absolutely. Anyone who thinks that they can predict what's going to happen in November is full of it. I mean, just in the last 3 weeks, how much has changed, how many things have transpired. That will continue to happen, and that's why we got to keep our eye on the ball. We've got to hit the doors. We've got to do the voter contact. We've got to do the registration, and we got to show up everywhere. We can't write anyone off, and we can't take anyone for granted.
You talked about when you were on the podium some of the things you did.
Good morning, NAACP. Are you all in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we look at the historic jobs in manufacturing that grew this administration. That shores up every manufacturing job in Michigan. We're expanding, whether it is building battery plants and mobility, or it is onshoring chip manufacturing. All these things are crucial for our homeland security. But for everyday Americans, those are good paying jobs. And it would not have happened.
Social justice advocate, and he
So
was
there's
the
more
first
to know.
Absolutely. I mean, this president has an incredible list of receipts, but we got more to do, and he's ready to go. He's got the right priorities, and when you look at what the alternative is, I mean, come on, there's really not a lot to debate here. We gotta get organized. We gotta win this thing.
We talk about women and their rights.
Our three awardees know full well that our health is our wealth. Say it with me. Our health is our wealth. In the legacy of Dr. Cobb, I'm honored to announce
the things that each
across
of
the
us have
population
said,
health
and
and
it's
health equity
very
landscape
frightening.
who have blazed
Don't
trails
assume
and
that
helped to
just because
advance
they
our
give a nice
collective health and
speech,
well-being.
that their whole record and their values are any different
At the
than they always
national
have
level,
been.
the
I mean, the proof is
2024
right there.
Dr.
They
William
offer,
Montague
I
Cobb
think, a
Award
very
winner
stark,
is
scary
Dr.
vision of
Rose
what they want to do in this
Blackburn,
country, how they want to use the powers of the White House to undermine
Dr. Blackburn
fellow
serves with me on the
Americans. And that's
NAACP
precisely,
National
I
Health
think, got to
Committee,
be
and
a
she is
start line
also
of
Vice
why
President
this is so
and
important.
Global
We got to
Head
jump
of
in
Women's
and
Health,
make sure we
General
do
Medicine
play our
at
part.
PPD, External Official Scientific.
Yes, well, first I just want to salute
Dr. Blackburn is a leading voice and a renowned expert in health equity, women's health policy, and diverse representation in clinical trials.
the Black press.
She is a globally recognized leader in medical product development and has been instrumental in numerous approvals for pharmaceuticals, vaccines, medical
Let's go.
devices,
Thank
and
you.
diagnostics.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Since 2016, she has served on the Food and Drug Administration Patient Engagement Advisory Committee as the primary
Folks, we are
representative
here
for women's health,
in
pediatrics, and vulnerable populations. Dr.
the governor of Michigan, who is co-chair of the Biden-Harris
As well as a
campaign.
board-certified OB/GYN. Obstetrician and gynecologist. There we go.
Right,
Big word
see you.
struck me all the time.
Gotta holler at our brother
At the
from Atlanta.
state level,
Man, what's happening? How things looking in Michigan? A lot of people upset about Gaza. What impact is that?
I think it's going to have an impact, and we are all concerned about Gaza. Mark, I think we're the people of enslavement, antebellum, 100 years of lynching, Jim Crow, that's why it needs to happen. Our mamas had babies ripped from their stomachs and their breasts. Folk used to come out of church on Sunday and go watch lynchings. They had a picnic there with their children. So if anybody feels that, we do. However, we have a number of issues. I don't hear people talking about the Congo. I don't hear people talking about Haiti. I don't hear people talking about the Sudan. I don't hear people talking about that. We got issues in terms of diversity, in terms of the president's cabinet. We got the issue of two more people on the Supreme Court. We got issues of money in terms of jobs and economic development. So we cannot get stuck on that one issue. We're concerned about it. We want a two-state solution. We want an end to the bombing. We want all of that. We support Israel. We don't support Netanyahu. And we can do that. That does not make us anti-Semitic. That just makes us righteous in terms of dealing with the truth. So it's an issue that we're trying to tell our Arab brothers and sisters. And as you know, Michigan has the largest number of Arabs outside the Middle East. That is bigger than that. And so I think we still can win Michigan, but we got to work like heaven in order to make sure we get the vote out.
What do you say to African voters who feel apathetic, who have issues how he's talking, how he's presenting himself? Make the case. You even have the issue with Gaza. Some folks, some young people say, I'm not going to vote for Gaza. I'm not going to vote because he's old. What do you say to that?
I say part of what I just said, but understanding this. I understand, I feel their pain. They're not incorrect when they talk about what's happening in Gaza. I understand that. But we have bigger issues than that. I was going to say this. I would rather have Joe Biden stammering on stage than Donald Trump stumbling in the White House. I'm simply saying this. Bobby Womack had a song back in the day. It was called, If You Think You're Lonely Now, Wait Until the Night Comes. If you think that we're lonely now in terms of policy, wait until the night comes under another administration. When it comes to HBCUs, $16 billion, y'all. Your mama and your daddy have diabetes. Insulin costs money. Reduction and all of that. They got a plan to reduce it even more pharmaceutically all around the country. When it comes to policies, when it comes to Gaza, you're talking about Gaza. Lindsey Graham wants to drop a nuclear bomb on Gaza. There are others who have said we should drop the bomb and just be done with it. Who do you think that's going to impact? They're also talking about reinstituting the draft under Project 2025. Who do you think is going to have the greatest detriment in terms of a draft that if they re-implement it? They want to eliminate Social Security. Your mama and your daddy got Social Security. You want Social Security. They're talking about eliminating the Department of Education, which means breakfast programs, which means vaccinations, which means all of that. They're talking about creating a Department of Justice that has fealty to Donald Trump. His son, Don Jr., has already said, let me be the guy that determines who is going to stay with you based upon loyalty to my daddy. That's what he just said. What the hell do y'all want? Hell is in the Bible. And I'm simply saying that we got to be smarter than that. We got to be wise. Having some gold gym shoes with red bottoms is not policy. Putting my face on a t-shirt behind prison bars is not policy. Let's have a program for prison reform. Let's pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Let's pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Because one was shot at, and we thank God things went the way they were. Unfortunately, one person was killed. But the reality is, now where's your position on gun control? Where's your position on trying to eliminate weapons of war off the streets of America? Why aren't you articulating that? I know the other person is. I know that the Biden administration is. What is your position on women's right to choose? You just selected J.D. Vance as your vice presidential pick. We cannot advance with J.D. Vance. This guy wants women who are in brutal marriages to stay in the marriages. This guy does not want a woman to have the right to choose what happens with her body in terms of health care. This guy is the one who has called Donald Trump ridiculous, compared him to Hitler, has said that he has no business in the White House, and now he's going to be the vice presidential candidate, the least amount of experience of any vice presidential candidate in history, and that's what we want? I don't think so. So I'm simply saying to the brothers, don't be bamboozled. Don't go for the okie doke. Be straight up. We need y'all to come back home. come back home to do what is right, because Donald Trump is not for you. Donald Trump is for Donald Trump. If it ain't about Trump, it ain't about nothing for him. So let's stand up, let's get all in, let's fight to protect our democracy.
You know this young man right here, I think.
Dr. Benjamin Chambers, I think I've met him once or twice.
Absolutely. We can't give them enough
You
love.
have a question for our guest, Dr. Shavers.
Yes, United Church of Christ.
Yes, sir.
The role of the black church is
I mean, yeah.
the black press, the black church, NAACP.
Late at night, early mornings, when they kill the next black person that don't make the news and nobody talking about
And
it
not just
himself,
to
the
witness what's
community.
going on.
Yes.
Help lead the charge. Make sure we have the
How
largest
can we
black
help?
folk turn out.
And that's what this
Well, Reverend Chambers, I thought we were called watchmen. Watchmen, what of the night? The morning comes, it's going to come because we don't do it. We're watching, we're articulating to our people what needs to happen. The black church traditionally has been the black press. Before there was the black press, because the word, the communication, the direction came out of the church. So there's a natural marriage between the black church and the black press. I would also say to my colleagues, don't wait for 2 weeks before the election to start talking about getting out the vote. Get somebody in your church who's in charge of voter education, registration, and motivation. Let them speak from the pulpit to motivate your people. Hold forums in your church. Talk about Project 2025. If you don't know about it, Google it. Get somebody in who does know about it because of the danger that it presents. The church can make a difference, man. Just think if we had all our churches, singing from the same hymn book, talking about the threat to our freedom and our democracy. Fannie Lou Hamer didn't fight this fight for us to throw it away. Harriet Tubman didn't come from the South on so many occasions just for us to give it up. Frederick Douglass didn't say without a struggle there's no progress, for us not to have a struggle. I mean, Martin King did not have a dream on the mountaintop. He came down in the valley. He was working. And now we're going to allow the dream, quote unquote, to be turned into this nightmarish condition. We can see what's happening in front of us. The devil is busy, and the devil is a liar, and he's the chiefest of all liars. Don't believe what the devil says. It's in your book. And so I'm simply saying, let's take a look, a serious one. Let's come together. If you don't know certain things, ask somebody. Call the NAACP. Call the National Black Newspaper Association. Call somebody if you need help. But you can get some help. Don't get stuck. Let's get up. Don't turn back. Let's step up. We need everybody in this fight, particularly the black church.
He's running the show in Michigan. He's running that's good faith, something hopeful, something to believe in Michigan. And I think he made some good points, Dr. Chambers, about what we need to prioritize, what we need to focus on.
Yes, absolutely. We're coming together now. Don't wait till October. Don't wait till election. This is June, July 2024. We need to come together now to affect what's going to happen in November. So the black press, the black church, the NAACP, all our communities. One of the greatest things about this 115th convention of the NAACP is this whole notion that we're going to provide leadership that serves the people, leadership that empowers the people, leadership that helps lead the people in the right direction. And we have to stand against evil. We have to call evil for what it is. You know, what if
George Floyd and Breonna Taylor
person gets to the White House? I ask that question. You know, we can't afford to allow that even to be under consideration.
Folks, we're live at the convention here in Las Vegas. You can probably hear Benjamin from the song in the background. He is actually speaking right now, and we'll probably hear a word or two from him before we before we sign off here. Mr. Chairman, did the governor give you any hope in terms of Michigan and what's going on?
Yeah, anytime that there's a consensus and we're on the same page about where we need to go, it's always hope in that. One thing we have to remember, if we're to get our house in order, we got to start from the past and work up. We got to understand that history is a time clock. We got to find ourselves on that clock to see where we are so we can move forward. And to hear the governor of Michigan as she spoke, that was uplifting. Even though some folk were pushing for her as opposed to fight VP Harris, she didn't do it. So that said to me that we are all in this together for the right reason, not for the selfish reason. And in order to lead, as you said, Dr. Chavis, we have to have a servant's heart. You can't go in it being an elitist or being selfish.
So speaking of government, your governor spoke at RNC last night. Did you get to see him and see the highlights of what he said?
I tried my best to distance myself from that guy, because he said some things, and I'm still stuck on the fact that he wants to write us out of history. So what he says, it doesn't register to me. I mean, I'm not on the page with him, and so I try to do it as much as I can not to take it in. And I think that we do ourselves an injustice when we believe what folk are saying and what other media are writing. That can take us off of our program. So I try to stay away from him. I do listen for the sake of listening, but I don't pay attention to what he's saying.
It's interesting how you have Governor DeSantis at RNC, you had Nikki Haley, both of whom ran against Trump, both of whom beat him hard. Trump jumped all over them, and it's interesting how everybody just bends the knee. Even J.D. Vance once called Trump. So what is going on? Do these people really support this man, or they just see him as this vehicle to try and have total control? I mean, you've never seen people go to those extremes and then just flip back like a rubber band all the time.
Well, white supremacy is deeply embedded in our society. And I think that's why we need the NAACP, we need the Black press, we need the Black church, we need Black-owned media to get the message out. And I think that DeSantis and some of these other governors, J.D. Vance as well as the Vice President nominee in the Republican Party, all this is representative. It's just not these individuals. It's who they represent. Remember, there are millions of Americans they voted for Trump. They lost their election. They're coming back. And millions more Americans voted for Biden over Trump. And so we have this movement for trying to put people to sleep. To make people think that Donald Trump is invincible. This guy is not invincible. But by the grace of God, he wouldn't be here right now. And so, my grandma used to tell me, God don't like ugly. Next time, it may not be a mess.
Not only does God not like ugly, he ain't too partial to beauty either. But what gets me is, and I know y'all probably remember the times when we were growing up, when somebody talked about your mama, that was a fight. And I look at my wife as the next thing to my mama. And Trump talked about several of those individuals' wives, and they still kowtowed to him. So that says to me that's a lack of manhood, and cowardice. And it appears that people are associating their worth with some no good individuals. And you asked the question, Nikki Haley and DeSantis and whomever else that came on stage to now all of a sudden to be beholding to a man who they talked about and said they never would be involved with, then I have to ask myself, what is this personal commitment to them? Is it for the people? Is it some self-serving position that they're coming from? That's what I found myself in.
It's certainly self-serving, and it's white supremacy. Everybody is competing to be the top white supremacist. Trump has that now, so they're all just going to fold into what he's saying and what he's doing. That is the unfortunate reality that we're faced with. Right now, if you look at a lot of the numbers,
I don't care
This is still a virtual type.
if your knees are
I haven't looked at some
knocking,
battleground states this
you
morning,
still speak
but this is
truth
a
to power.
virtual tie. Not
She
much
said,
has
I don't
changed
care
since
if
that
your
awful
heart
debate,
is
nor has
racing.
much changed yet since that
You still
supposed
speak truth
shooting,
to power.
supposed
She
assassination.
said, I don't
Supposed-
care
supposed-
if your
supposed.
voice is cracking.
Suppose it's a virtual time.
You
Based on
still
the
speak
supposed
truth
data
to
that we
power.
have. Right
She
now,
said,
we're pleased to
because
say
too
that
many
Howard
of our
University
ancestors
and the NAACP, we're working
sacrificed
on doing our
so
own
much.
national black voter
She
poll.
said,
Because we know
getting
these
beat
polls
in
skew
cotton
the
fields,
reality in black
getting
people. There's no way in
raped,
hell
getting
25% of
kidnapped,
black
getting
males
lynched, getting
That's
hung
a
in
lie.
trees, getting
That's
dogs
a
planted
fictitious.
on, getting water hoses
Talk
turned
about fake
on,
news,
getting up
fake
at your
president,
lessons
fake
to go
vice
take care
president.
of other
You
people's
know, we
children.
gotta
So
restore
you'll
order
have a
by
chance
putting the
to
truth
go
out
back
there.
to
So we need to do our
colleges
own
and
polls.
get these
Now, anybody
degrees
listening to this,
and these
don't pay no
jobs
attention to
and
them
have a
polls,
chance
because
to
those
be
polls
in
are
the
not in our
room
interest.
and give a
Those polls
voice
also
to the
represent
people who
white
would never
supremacy.
have a voice.
And speaking of
inside
polls,
those
as we were
rooms.
walking
So when you
around
get a
here
chance
at
to
the
speak
convention,
truth to
talking to
power,
different
you
people of
do
all
it,
ages,
baby.
of all
You
sects,
do it.
you know,
So ain't
at least
nobody
90% of the people that we were talking to, they believe that what Trump and that mega force is telling folks is a lie. And they also commented on the fact of this supposed assassination attempt. So people are really looking at this from a whole different perspective. Not what they're trying to feed us, but what we're digesting ourselves.
And we should also take note that as Benjamin Crumwise, we're going to see if we grab him. We should also take note of this, that those who are calling for an open convention and for Biden to step down, that's not just about him, that's about her. Because there's no one that should even be considered to be replaced by at the top of the ticket other than Kamala Harris. Come a little bit away, Dr. James. I want to be sure to get you in the frame.
White supremacy is not just on the Republican side.
Right.
We got some white supremacists up in the Democratic Party also. Let's be
Right.
honest.
That has not changed.
That's right. And so
It's
this
my
whole call
pleasure
for so-called
to
open
bring
convention
you an
means
important
that
conversation
they're trying to
among
take Biden
NAACP
down, but also
President
trying
Derek
to take Kamala
Johnson
Harris down.
and
So
Dr.
we're not going
Richard
to stand for
Besser
that. You
on
know,
the
and
subject
I
of
think that
health
we
outcomes.
have to push. If the
Dr.
Black
Besser
community
is CEO of the
rises,
Robert Wood Johnson
then
Foundation,
Biden
a
has
nonprofit
weakness.
committed
So
to
we got to
confront
work
structural
hard,
racism
and I'm
to
optimistic
improve our
because I
health.
think
Let's give a
something
round of applause and
is
welcome
being now
to
ignited
President Johnson
by
and
the
Dr.
end
Besser.
of the Black community, and that's our job in the Black press. And I want to inform
So
you,
today
we
we're
are also
talking about
called to
equity,
ignite.
Yes, sir.
not
We're
just
also
health
called to
equity, but
agitate.
racial
We're also
equity.
called to
And
do whatever's
oftentimes
necessary
in my
not
practice
only to
as a
wake
public
up our
health
people, but to
preventive
keep
medicine
them woke.
physician,
Don't let nobody
I
tell
talk
you
about
there's something
equity
wrong with being
being a
woke. Don't let
roadmap
nobody
to
tell you there's
justice.
something wrong with being
And
awakened to the
oftentimes
truth.
the work
That's
that
the
the
Black press. For
NAACP does,
197
and Dr. Robert
years,
Wood Johnson
we've
Foundation
always
does,
not only
we
spoke
see
truth to power,
equity as
but
a
we
tool
published
and
truth
an
to power.
intervention.
You know,
To
and that's what
collective
separates us
impact
from
and
any other
collective
media.
action.
You know, we
I think
are
it's so
a liberating
important
media.
that
We're not
all of
one
us
to talk about
understand
confusion.
the
We set the
definition of
record straight.
racism,
You know,
that
so when
best
all of these other
equips
sources are
us to
pouring in
design those strategies and solutions.
misinformation,
So before we
we
talk
are
and get into
there to
questions,
set the
I
record
want to
straight.
level set
You know, and we do our own polling. I mean,
I want to
it's
share with you
individually,
the definition
but thank
of
God for
racism
Howard University,
that Dr.
what they're
Cameron
proposing to
Jones
do.
uses. You heard me reference
So,
her
Doc,
earlier.
when the governor of Michigan,
Racism
she
is a
said,
system
we were
of
talking earlier about
structuring opportunity,
her not taking the bait.
whereby one
We want to
group
expound on
is
that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I
unfairly
think it's very important.
advantaged
The governor of Michigan
based on the
reaffirmed
social construct
her
of
support
race
of
and
Biden
phenotype of skin color,
reaffirmed that
whereby
she's a
another
very
group is
successful governor
unfairly
in Michigan. She
disadvantaged
intends to make sure
based
that
on
we have a
the
large
same
state
social
in
construct
Michigan.
of race,
Because Michigan's
but
been so-called
its
swing
strength
states. We
is
can't
exact,
afford
I
to
should
lose
say, the
Michigan.
strength of
So
society.
I'm glad that she is
And
co-chair.
I just want that to
Governor
ground this
Michigan
conversation
is the
that when
co-chair
we're
of the
talking
Biden
about
Harris campaign.
racism, we're not
So
just talking
she's
about
not only
interpersonal
giving
or
verbal
even
support, she's
individualized
giving
or just
physical
within an
support, energetic
organizational
support
workspace,
to
but
support the
this
Biden Harris
system
campaign.
or
And
systematic
here we have the
shifting
Black Attorney General.
as
Yeah.
a component.
Black-
I'm so proud of
So
my brother from
earlier
North
this
Carolina.
year,
If
Dr.
everyone was a
Besser
black Leaders of Benjamin's Court.
Thank you, mentor. You know, I love you, Dr. Chavis, Bobby Henry, good Omega man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, but y'all do for America with the black press is needed now more than ever. I mean, we need a voice, man, because like you and I talked about privately, Dr. Chavis, we can't have Elon Musk's Twitter or X or whatever, being the Oracle. They can't be. They ain't the clearing call for us because, man, they got agendas. We got to have an agenda for truth, Mark. And Ben Chavis, Bobby here, and the NNPA are the key to us being able to communicate with our communities and be able to inspire black people. You know, on the election, Dr. Chavis, Mark, y'all, they would make us think that it's out of reach, but it is not out of reach. It's going to come down to our black communities saving America again. And when you look at the path to victory for President Biden and Vice President Harris, it's the same as it always was. And it took Cedric Richmond and Steve Benjamin explaining that to me. The blue wall. Oh, we got California, New York, and we can carry 4 or 5 states in the blue wall. We win. So if we can make sure our black community come out in a place like Philadelphia, we get Pennsylvania, or come out and with Milwaukee, we get Wisconsin, come out in Detroit, we get Michigan, or any of the other states like Georgia and Atlanta. Yeah, and North Carolina is in play. I mean, so the path to victory is still clear and better for Biden and Trump. They will make us think that all hope is gone. Man, they done told black people that forever. All hope is gone.
So, I believe in arithmetic. There's a project 2025, but you get the project 2024 first.
Amen.
2024, we're going to kick the ass out of project 2025.
There it is. Like, hey, mentor, I'm going to borrow that one. I'm going to give you credit 2 times. The 3rd time, then I'm going to say it's mine.
Before you go, what do you think about these folks? In our nation, we oftentimes see this pendulum of progress. You know, in that conversation, it's not even any consideration that our system would take the top of the ticket. They want to vote.
But I just think it's offensive on every level because Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States of America, has done more than any other Vice President to exhibit true leadership. I mean, she is a brilliant, articulate, courageous leader. And why? Because she's not a white boy? That's why they're trying to say she can't be president? No, I put Kamala up against any one of them. And she is us, y'all. She came from Oakland. Her mom was with the Panthers. She went to Howard University, HBCU. I mean, who better to be able to be inside the room to speak to our black culture, our black life experiences, our black heritage, than a black woman who came up from the community, from us.
Right. Didn't she call Vance out for a debate as well? Yeah, she did. I don't know if he responded to it, but she called him on the phone.
If you're scared, say you're scared, man.
So before he leaves, he just made an eloquent address to the NAACP 115 convention. So Mark,
in a democracy,
this lawyer needs to be ordained because he's up here preaching without a license. He's up here preaching without a license, and I don't want him to get in trouble. That's why we got to ordain Benjamin Crump.
I love you, mentor. Well, y'all pray my strength and we keep fighting. Well, I'm going back to the National Bar Association convention. The black lawyers also meet in Las Vegas, and we're about to talk about the recent Supreme Court decision and the federal court decisions on Fearless Fund that you and I have been talking a lot about. Because y'all do know this attack on DI, I mean, it demonstrates how emboldened they have become, because before it was about them killing George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery. This attack on DI is them saying, oh, we're coming after you educated Negroes too.
That's right.
Yeah. You too, Mark.
All right, love you, man. Love you, man.
God bless.
Mentor?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Love you, man. Let's get our anthem.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So folks, we are here at the 115th annual NAACP convention for the land for the Richard Whitmer and Benjamin Crump. Right now, the president of NAACP, Derek Johnson, is participating in a sort of town hall. As many of you know, Dr. Chavis is a former head of the NAACP. So how's it feel for you to be back here?
As I said yesterday,
An IRS was created and it gave shelter for hybrid individuals to create foundations like the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation or the Ford Foundation or Congress. Those are the robber barons who make tons of money.
So now
And many of them, not all, had missions to right-size all the abstraction of human and environment to try to right-size. So within the mission of the Lee Foundation is trying to clean up all of the harm they did in the past. Robert Johnson is a part of hope.
Because we are the messengers that transmit.
All right, make sure now.
Even after this convention,
I think that
mainstream places.
I've worked in public government.
That's our job. We got to make sure the word gets out to Black America about what's going on with the NAACP, what is going on with massive Black
When I first came to philanthropy, understanding that. So here you have this massive concentration of wealth that is
folks, we're live here. We're gonna
caused by the
pause for a
accumulation of
minute.
massive
They come back
amounts
live,
of
so
wealth.
stay tuned, follow, make it plain, and the NNPA across all your social media.
One of the things
And
is
we'll
that
be joining you
we
again
do not
momentarily.
have to
We're
to
live
go
here
with the political
in
harm.
MIP and the NNPA.
So if it is becoming
at
unpopular
the
to focus on dismantling structural racism, we don't have to respond to that. We're not elected. We don't have shareholders.